The son of a plumber from Austin, Texas, from digging ditches in the Texas sun to one of the most recognizable faces and voices in the world of sports entertainment. 3-time world champion, he is the man that most people credit with the success of today's pro wrestling popularity. He is Dusty Rhodes, the man the world calls the American Dream, and to most of us, the man we simply call Dream.
This is Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, and I just thought it'd be nice to get out here in the woods to really contemplate and think back on the history of this man they call the American Dream. And people say it's very hard sometimes when you have to talk about your own self, but for me, it's not hard at all. I was the greatest there ever was. And in the early years, as we set the table for what we now see as professional wrestling, Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, was a dominating force. This is just one of many specials on Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, me, of course, that will be coming your way through Turnbuckle Memories, a nostalgia look at pro wrestling. But today I thought it'd be nice to go back on this first special and take a look at some of the men that touched my life coming up in professional wrestling. And first off, we're going to take a look at a man named Gary Hart. Gary Hart was a great manager. Maybe J.J. Dillon only rivaled him in Texas in the 1970 when I started, when Fritz von Erich, another great man in my life, gave me the name Dusty Rhodes. And Gary Hart managed me, but we always didn't see eye to eye. And then he drifted down into Florida, and when he came to Florida, he brought with him Bobby Duncan. Me and Bobby Duncan were crosstown rivals in football, crosstown rivals in chasing women. We were crosstown rivals on who had the better truck back there in Austin, Texas. And now the walls came into the rings down in Florida. So Gary Hart say, listen, I'm so mad at you, get anybody you want. Take anybody you want. I'll put on the tights for the first time, and me and Bobby Duncan will just whip y'all's butt. Well, you're going to see the partner I picked is not a man of great stature, a man of great height, but a man of great heart. I brought into the ring, as you will see, the Haiti Kid, one of the little dynamos of that era, one of the midget wrestlers, as they've called him. And we matched up against Bobby Duncan and Gary Hart. What a way to kick off this special called Dream.
With my movement, the Dream gave me the soul clap. Now then, he gonna jump on Gary Hart with all his fury. Look at it, getting ready. Gary stonking him. The Kid's there. The Kid shoots through. Shoots through again. Look at them move. Shoots through again. Gary Hart's dumbfounded as usual, walking flat-footed like a semi-wino from Chicago. All I had to pay the Haiti Kid is 2 tickets to Disney World and a slab of barbecue ribs. And he is doing the best he can. I'm going to come in here now and put the big strong arm on him. Get him, Kid. Look at him. Oh, there's more excitement going on here. Look at this. Look at this. Trying to hurt the Dream. Fumbling around there. Bobby Duncan lost 18 straight matches. Here he is trying to make a comeback. There he is in there. Rhodes, look at here. Football time, Duncan. Look at him, Garden. Look at him, Garden. Football time.
Here's where Gary Hart trips you up.
Try to trip me and hurt me, but I'm only resting. I'm only resting. Now he got me. Now I'm giving him the 2 sign. We had number 2 arranged for him to jump up and slap Bobby Duncan in the head, which he did. Now you're going to see him scoot around. Look at him. Go on, Scooter. Go on, Scooter. Can't hardly get off. He almost lost it on that far turn. Look at him. The dude can run. The dude he can stroll, God. I'm tying old Bobby up. He ain't got a chance. I'm getting ready to put the coup de grace here. Oh.
You got Hart in trouble.
Look, Heaty's going to cover him. Cover him, Heaty. They threw him in the 5th row of ringside here, but Heaty gets up because he's got that great heart I talk about. That's heart. Now, that's I'm going to do it to you, Heaty. All he needs is just a little foot from the Dream. Just a little help from his friend. Oh, I love the little dude. And black or white, it don't matter, Garden.
And here's where the happiness turned very close to tragedy as the Tahiti Kid was whipped out of the ring again. Now Duncan and Hart leaving the ring.
Bad dude, man. How does it feel, Gary Hart, to get beat by a little midget? 3 foot tall. Where's my man at? I'm looking for him, Gordon. I didn't realize he was hurt. And he is hurt. His feelings are hurt. His body is hurt. I'm trying to revive him here because my people are waiting, my movement's waiting. The American dream, in love with the world. We're in love with each other, God, and you know that. You know that. When a little dude like this can come in and give 120% of his heart, then that's heavy, baby. That's what it's all about. That's life. That's what it's really about.
The referee is explaining here as to what happened. Apparently he hit his head and his throat on the iron railing outside of the ring, and
yeah, the dude's hurt, God. The dude, there's nothing left for me to do but put the black dude in my white arms, baby. There it is. Black on white. That's life. That's America, baby. It's beautiful. I love him.
And there you have Dusty Rhodes, the American dream.
Man, let me tell you what, that was a sight to see, me and the Haiti Kid. I guarantee you there's a lot more good stuff to come. I want to talk about somebody that was so important to me in my career and in life that it's hard to imagine being without him. But I've never really been without him since he passed away. Eddie Graham, my mentor, if you will. My second father, if you will. Nobody equaled Eddie Graham in his knowledge of this sports that we call now sports entertainment, when wrestling was wrestling, as they say. And Dusty Rhodes became the American dream because of Eddie Graham. Great wrestler in his own right, sold out Madison Square Garden many times, drifted down into Florida to form his own promotion, and took this plumber's son from Austin, Texas, to the heights of the Garden in New York City, London, Japan, all over the world. Helped make Dusty Rhodes what he is. The knowledge that he gave me was something that I can't even begin to tell you unless you were there. But Eddie Graham had a special gift. And that gift that Eddie Graham was that he didn't judge a man right away because somebody else said, well, you know, I don't like him and you shouldn't like him. And if he didn't like you, you had a grudge that lasted a long time. You had something you could really stand on, if you know what I'm talking about. And talking about stand on it, he could stand on it. He wasn't afraid of bleeding. He wasn't afraid of getting out there and kicking and scratching and getting on somebody's hiney. Eddie Graham was a great man, and I miss him very much, and I loved him very much. And it's okay to talk about men loving men when you really feel that. And some of these guys I'm going to mention in this first special, I loved, and Eddie Graham was one of them. But me and Eddie Graham matched up against two guys that were wrestling machines. Bob Orton Jr., second generation, and Bob Roop, former Olympian. And let me tell you what, it was something to behold. So what a special time and special look you have here on Turnbuckle Memories, this dream special, to take a look at Eddie Graham and Dusty Rhodes against Bob Orton Jr. and Bob Roop. Let's look at it now.
Gordon, this is a chance for the millions of our fans out there to see one of the greatest triumphs of our life. There's Eddie Graham. He was trying to break my leg. Now, I can't take anything away from Eddie Graham. He's a legend in his own time. He's been in the top 10 for the last 15 years. The man is tough. Dusty Rhodes is in the top 10, the American dream, a legend in his own time. That's what makes the victory all the sweeter. Now, you can see how excited they are. They know they're up against some competition. They know they're up against some tough people. Bobby and I are, right at the moment, getting our strategy together, figuring out a way to beat this top team.
Well, that's a king-size order, Mr. Roop, and Dusty Rhodes, the American dream, in there now. And this has turned into a slugfest here between these two.
Bobby Orton's records are all over the record books, Gordon Soley, as a wrestler. He's proven that he can brawl with the brawlers, that he can kick with the kickers and punch and whatever needs to be done to be a champion.
A good head chancery by Eddie Graham there, and that certainly is...
No, Gordon, that's a chokehold, if you don't mind me.
It's a very, very clever way to disguise a chokehold. Now, Bobby was the one that felt the hold. He should know whether it was a choke or not. He said it was.
Yes, it was, Bob.
Well, the tag is made, and the American Dream move backs into the ring now, and the front face locking Bob Orton and putting a tremendous amount of pressure on him.
That's it. A lot of pressure.
That's right, a lot of pressure on my
But Bobby Orton is
jugular
typical
vein.
of a new breed of wrestler, and he can take it.
Good hip lock takedown by Dusty Rhodes.
These two men double-teamed myself and Bob Orton throughout the match and tried their best, their very, very best to beat us. Look at Bob. He's back up on his feet. The stamina and the discipline got him right out of that situation and back where he's in command. Now he's given Graham some of the things that were delivered to him a little bit earlier.
Well, catching Eddie Graham from the side now, and it's referee warning, and so now Orton tags up with you.
Here's teamwork, perfectly legal. And if you can use a legal way to beat a man, why not do it?
Ooh,
Now, I have to
Bobby,
admit
what
that-
a knee. Look at that knee.
How Eddie
That was
Graham got
beautiful.
out of this, I do not know.
Yeah, he's tough, Bobby. He's got a lot of guts.
Good atomic knee drop by Eddie Graham, and moving in with a trying for a lateral body press.
Well, he has shown us the stamina that a lifetime of wrestling has given him, the fact that he can even be on his feet at this point. It's remarkable. Now, Dusty Rhodes, that elbow is his best hold. And I have to admit that it is effective.
Well, Rhodes trying to fight his way out of some double teaming there, leaves the ring after Bob Roop, and Rhodes coming in, cutting him off at the pass and catching Bob Orton Jr. very quickly.
Now here again, the Rhodes and Graham team are doing some double teaming again, trying to beat us. And I can't blame them because they know we're tough. Now here, that's a karate thrust if I've ever seen one. And the fact that Bobby Orton and vicious knees being dropped across his throat, the fact that he can even, that he's not completely wiped out, the fact that he's sitting here today is remarkable. But it's a new breed, Gordon.
Oh,
That's right, Bobby. I'll tell you something. He almost had me there. I was as close to out as I'll ever be.
It was a good body slam followed up with that figure four.
Again, teamwork on our part. Now here we had an opportunity. Graham got himself too close to the corner, which is a mistake on his part.
And the American Dream was on the scene very quickly.
Things got a little vague for me right here, but looking at it on the film, Graham and I crashed into each other. I went outside the ring. Now here is Bobby Orton. Look at it right here. Bobby Orton pile driving a living legend, Eddie Graham,
looky
right
there.
on his head. The
Beautiful.
picture tells 1,000 words. And where's the referee? In a minute, here comes the referee. Bobby has got him in a hold. Bobby is going to roll him up. And just in a perfect collegiate, beautiful move. 1, 2, 3. There's the team of Orton and Roop has just defeated Eddie Graham and Dusty Rhodes. We're the best.
We're the best.
Man, oh man. Oh, that was good. It's only getting better. And a special wouldn't be a special unless I talked about my main man. You know, through the years, there has been a lot of partners that traveled down the road with Dusty Rhodes. But nobody as close as Dick Murdoch. Even today, him being gone, passed on, I think about him every day, and I think about some of the antics and some of the things that we actually done. So a special wouldn't be a special from the early years unless I put something on there that Dick Murdoch done. And it wasn't being done to me at the time I'm talking about it, because I'm talking about Eddie Graham and Paul Jones hooked up with Buddy Colt and the Russian Chris Markov. Dick Murdoch comes into play here. We traveled down the road together so long that we had good hatred between us and mostly great love between us. But when we had a misunderstanding, we went at it. whether it be on the side of the road. One time coming from Ohio, we got out of the car and begins to wrestle at 3 a.m. in the morning. We were both bleeding, and we finally set up in the grass and looked at each other and just started laughing and opened up another beer and headed on down the road. That was Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, and Dick Murdoch, Captain Redneck, if you will. Well, make no mistake about it, a tougher man never walked in the squared circle. There was nobody as tough as Dick Murdoch, and I miss him a lot. And it's an honor to put him on this first special, even though he's trying to get into the action. Another look at Eddie Graham. I look at a great competitor, Paul Jones. Buddy Colt got hurt, career cut short in a plane crash. You see him at his best here. And Chris Markoff, a man I knew very well. But Murdoch, another man that touched the soul of Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream. Let's take a look at this. Okay, now once again, as Murdoch comes into play, let's go ahead. I talked earlier about the feuds that me and Dick Murdoch had. And if you really feel strongly about somebody, you're going to have cross words sometime. You're going to have misunderstanding sometime. But in the world of wrestling, when they say wrestling was wrestling, before there was the pyro or the pyrotechnics or the disappearing acts of the modern day athletes, make no mistake about it, they're all great athletes today. But back then, we didn't have no music to come to the ring with. We only had that drive to be the best you could be. Bill Watts was one of the men. He came to Florida to study under Eddie Graham as I did. Eddie Graham taught him all facets of the industry. And Bill Watts took that away with him back to Bixby, Oklahoma, to become, for a while, the greatest wrestling promoter in the history of this industry. So we both, get that from the dream. Can you hear me? I can't even talk, I'm so excited. But that's all right, because I do have Rhodism. Sometimes we can't understand what I'm saying, can we? Bill Watts in Bixby, Oklahoma, wrestling promoter. Always treated me well. But with Bill Watts, there was no gray area. You know what I'm talking about? There was, you either didn't like him or you liked him. Well, I tell you what, I like Bill Watts. Bill Watts was a last of a breed. Bill Watts was a mean son of a bitch. And I guarantee you this, in the early days, we had some great scraps. Once again, on the feuding side of my romance with my partner, if you will, Dick Murdoch, Buddy Colt, Dusty Rhodes, and Bill Watts, we gonna kick the door down in this one. Let's take a look. sitting around here and having some libation, if you will, on cervezas. We watch these great tapes and putting this great piece together for you here, this dream special of the early years, if you will, and all the great camera crew is around here, and my director, Teal and Wes, and we all sitting around out here in the woods, and between takes, we all telling stories about somebody. Well, let me tell you a story about somebody. I called Bill Watts just a few minutes ago a nasty son of a bitch. Well, I meant that with love in my heart. Harley Race was a nasty son of a bitch. I ain't no love in my heart about that. 289 stitches over a span of years. Broken ribs. Operations on both hands. Earlobes about fell off. Hour draws in the heat. Fights on the side of the road when I'd seen. But what Harley Race was the greatest single heel, bad guy, if you will, in this industry. Some say the greatest champion of all times. I would agree with them. I think Harley Race set the table, along with Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, and Eddie Graham, and Bill Watts, and young Mike Graham, and all the great stars that you will see on these up-and-coming specials. But Harley Race was a man that didn't take no grump from nobody. I'm going to tell you a quick story. Before ear piercing became fashionable, I pierced my ear in 1974 because I thought it was cool. A cowboy with a pierced ear. And back then, they put a little string through it. It's not like you go in the mall now when the string kind of dangled down here and you had to put peroxide and stuff on it for a few weeks or so, till it healed and you could stick your diamond earring in there. And I thought that was just cool as could be. Well, Harley Race seen this the first time we met after I had had it done. And I remember his words as we were standing in the middle of the ring. He looked at me and he said, "What kind of a man would put an earring in his ear?" As he commenced to rip the string out of my ear, and I was agonizing in pain. That's the kind of man Harley Race was. This next little ditty, if you will, takes place in the Bayfront Center. Some say the house that the Dream built in St. Petersburg, Florida. See if you can tell all these guys that are involved in this. Go down the list and see how many still with us. Is Eric the Red in this thing? Let's watch this confrontation against me and Harley Race. My ear still hurts about that. I don't know why I'm going to ever do that thing, but no more earrings.
Two special bulletins at this time before we bring you the action in this film of the World Heavyweight Championship. Steve Kern, who had his leg broken by Sonny King, Pac Song, and Eric the Red, has undergone corrective surgery for the damaged tendons in his foot and ankle and is currently recuperating at the Florida Hospital in Orlando. And the president of the NWA, Mr. Bob Geigel, has ordered that this film, immediately after this airing here on Championship Wrestling, be sent directly to the board of directors of the National Wrestling Alliance. They want to scrutinize the film carefully and interrogate all of the principals involved regarding this highly controversial World Heavyweight Championship match. Here you see the match underway. Harley Race, the world champion, with a salto, and it's Dusty Rhodes firing back at him. Now, as you can see, the ring is surrounded by lumberjacks. This is under lumberjack rules with a 90-minute time limit. The champion outside the ring being pushed back into the ring by Wahoo McDaniels, Jerry Briscoe, Rocky Johnson. The world heavyweight champion Harley Race on the canvas, Dusty Rhodes coming off the ropes. There you see another of the lumberjacks, Ali Bay, to the right, Pete Austin. Also Mr. Sato and Mr. Saito and Bob Duncan, as you can see them all, putting the champion back into the ring in this most important World Heavyweight Championship match, a highly controversial situation, as you'll see in just a couple of moments. I might point out there you see Pac Song and Sonny King, two more of the lumberjacks. Of course, there were several standby lumberjacks, including Eric the Red. Dusty Rhodes catches the world champion on that second rope, slams him into the center of the ring. Dusty Rhodes continues to punish the world heavyweight champion, the title that he has sought for such a long, long time. Could perhaps be within his reach at this point in time. Sonny King watching one of the lumberjacks. There's Pac's song. The champion coming off the ropes now, and Dusty Rhodes ducks out of the way. Rhodes in with a lateral press. Ollie Bay pointing out the fact that the world heavyweight champion's feet are on the ropes. And so consequently, the hold is broken. Back on their feet, it is the world champion bringing Rhodes up into a souffle. Rhodes on the canvas. Rhodes coming up slowly, coming back into the ring now. And you can see Ollie Bay over to one side, and a problem erupting now with Sonny King. Ollie Bay hitting Rhodes from the outside. Dusty Rhodes running Ollie Bay into the steel post, the guardrail outside the ring. Ollie Bay is down. You see them administering aid to him at this time, and Dusty Rhodes, who has already been lacerated, as has the champion. The two of them battling it out now in the squared circle. There you see them rendering more assistance to Ollie Bay. He, too, has been injured, and it appears that Ollie Bay is going to be escorted from the ring. A drop kick by the challenger, Dusty Rhodes, puts the champion on the canvas once again. Ollie Bay being removed, and, of course, one of the standby lumberjacks will be moving up to the ring area. This is a 90-minute time limit. Lumberjack rules. Dusty Rhodes now moves in on the champion once again. Ollie Bay being escorted from the ring area. Dusty Rhodes again has the champion in dire straits. Rhodes looking to the thousands jammed at the Bayfront Center in St. Petersburg. And now the spinning toe hold on the world heavyweight champion. The referee checking. Rhodes knocked to one side by the champion. Rhodes to the other side of the ring, and the referee has been knocked from the ring. The referee is knocked from the ring. Rhodes is outside the ring. There's Mr. Saito, and now the champion tries to set Rhodes for a pile driver, but watch Rhodes upending the champion, backdrops him. Dusty Rhodes turned around. The referee still out of action, still out of commission now. Dusty Rhodes brings the world heavyweight champion Harley Race up. A full pile driver outside the ring. Rhodes against that steel guardrail. Now Dusty Rhodes, a challenger, moves back inside the ring. The referee being helped back in by the lumberjacks. Dusty Rhodes telling him that the champion is outside the ring on the opposite side. The referee, dazed, gets to his feet, going over to check. And now watch to the left of your screen. There comes Eric the Red coming into the ring. Eric the Red coming into the ring. And Dusty Rhodes dispatching him very, very quickly. And now watch. Sonny King goes over, picks up the object that Eric the Red had, and catches Dusty Rhodes in the back of the head. And the champion being pushed back in. You'll note now that the champion could not have been aware of this. The referee was not aware of it. Rhodes on the canvas, the champion, with a lateral press, a count of three. Wahoo McDaniel's trying to explain that Sonny King and Eric the Red interfered. The referee obviously did not see it. I cannot believe that the champion was aware of it. But nonetheless, the fatal count of three. And for the moment, that holds. For the moment, that holds. And Harley Race does retain his World Heavyweight Championship. But this film in its entirety will be viewed by the board of directors of the NWA. And Dusty Rhodes had these comments in the dressing room right after this controversial match.
As you can see, I want this time. I took this time. You see the cameras here? You're in my personal dressing room just a few minutes ago. Harley Race, whatever you feel about this thing, whatever has come between me and you, whether it's more world title shots or not, right now I don't care. But if the NWA can let happen what just happened, what just went on, then I want nothing to do with it. I just want to get bad about it. And Sonny King, what business do you have in my business after I've been here years and 2 or 3 years trying so hard to fulfill my dream? And Eric the Red, what's he running in on my thing for? Eric the Red gonna get yours. And Sonny King, it was seen before thousands of people. So where we go from here, I don't know. You're in my dressing room. You're right in this place, right here. It just happened. Bob Geigel, you better get your stuff together. And Harley Race, if I ever see you again, I'm going to tear you apart, you understand? I done beat you so many times, it make me sick in my stomach. Sonny King gonna pay. Eric the Red gonna pay. And Harley Race, if you still believe you're world's champion after this mess that just went on, then I hope your wife don't run you out of your house. That's what I hope.
I tell you what, you know, I can't wait as we grow here at Turnbuckle Memories and all of the vault, if you will, of matches that date back in history from the 50s, 60s, some of them still in them old tape-orientated boxes and everything, and to show you some of the great things that you're seeing on this first Dusty Rhodes special, Dream the Early Years. And these were early years for me. But Ole Anderson in later years became a thorn in my side. Many a great match did we have all over the world. But before Ole came along, one of the brothers and cousins of all that Anderson bunch, if you will, like Arn Anderson was a man named Lars Anderson. He was a great mat technician. He was a great wrestler. He was a great amateur. And he was mean also. Well, we got excited one time down in Florida, and we got to talking about these silver dollars shouldn't beating somebody in 10 minutes and beating somebody in 20 minutes, and I'll put up all this money, and I'll put up a bunch of silver dollars. And, well, I said, why don't you put up them silver dollars, if you will, and if I beat you, then I'm going to be handing them to the fans. Well, as that series of matches happened, them silver dollars became scarcer and scarcer, as you can see. Lars Anderson now, I believe, lives in Hawaii and is doing well, and he was a man that, well, I will always remember that took me to my limit. He helped, if you will, give me that mental toughness, because he was mentally tough, and if you had to wrestle him, you had to really deep down and go after him. So we're going to take a look now at a special match that these silver dollars were involved in against Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, and the great Lars Anderson.
And Rhodes now is going to have to reach way, way down inside of himself, way deep, to be able to counter effect this blistering charge by Lars Anderson. The elbow that rocks Anderson. Dusty goes into a single leg pickup, crashes down on the thigh muscles of Lars Anderson, and Anderson knows now that he's got problems with a rejuvenated Dusty Rhodes. Rhodes now getting that great second effort, and now pulls him, Lars Anderson, over to the ring ropes. Buddy Wolf saying something, and it is he's into the ropes. Now watch carefully the interchange between Lars Anderson. He is signaling Buddy Wolf to take the money and go. No question about it, and Buddy Wolf is leaving with the 2,000 silver dollars. And Dusty Rhodes, aware of this, back to his feet, looking out, trying to see where Buddy Wolf went, and watch. Lars Anderson catches him from behind. And it is Anderson closing in once again. He has sent Wolf away with the money. Anderson trying for that pinning combination. But Dusty Rhodes will not be denied. He absolutely will not be denied. A heart as big as his entire 260 pounds continues to take tremendous punishment. Pedro Morales blocking Buddy Wolf and forcing him back to ringside with the 2 bags of 1,000 silver dollars each. And now these two mix it up. Pedro Morales and Buddy Wolf mixing it up outside the ring. And so as the battle rages inside the ring, a new battle rages outside the ring between Morales and Wolf. And now Anderson, distracted momentarily as he sees what happens, that Wolf is back with the money, and Pedro Morales is there. Now watch Lars Anderson carefully. Comes up from behind, boots Pedro Morales. And it's Dusty Rhodes catching him, a belly-to-back suplex that has stunned Lars Anderson. 2, 3, 3, the count. 1, 2, 3, the count. And it is Dusty Rhodes winning the 2 bags of 1,000 silver dollars. 2,000 silver dollars, and there's Pedro Morales. His head also lacerated from that battle outside the ring, moving back in. It is Pedro Morales coming over to the fallen form of Dusty Rhodes. Fallen, but in victory nonetheless. Dusty Rhodes, suddenly, that adrenaline flowing, goes back to life, and now Dusty Rhodes looking around. You can see this jam crowd all cheering for Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, the Tower of Power, who has done something that no other wrestler has been able to do, and that's defeat Lars Anderson for the silver dollars. Pedro Morales standing there, Lars Anderson, and look at this face. a face bitter with frustration, rigid with rage. Lars Anderson finally leaving the ring with Buddy Wolf, the man who failed him in his quest. And Lars Anderson, thoroughly disgusted, totally upset, leaving the ring. And now Dusty Rhodes, and as he said, this is the people's money. It's the people's money, and that's exactly what he's doing.
You know, now it's time for what I call the icing on the cake of this first special. There's not athletes anywhere in the world, whether they play football, baseball, basketball, run, jump, jog, whatever they do, box, that don't want to be the greatest or the best they can be. I already talked about how great Harley Race was. I already talked about me and Harley Race's temperature amongst ourselves, and it was hot. It was red hot. And the Omni in Atlanta, Georgia was a place where Dusty Rhodes stood alone for a long time. It's not even there no more. And Dusty Rhodes got his opportunity knocking on his door against Harley Race for the World Heavyweight title in 1976. The emotions that went into this confrontation, the emotions that I felt as an athlete, my talks with Eddie Graham, my talks with Mike Graham, my talks with the great Jack Briscoe, my talks with the Funks who I hated, but I had to know what it feels like to be in there at an opportunity knocking to win the World's Heavyweight title for the first time. And that opportunity knocked me Omni in 1976. It was Father's Day. Harley Race and Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream for the World's Heavyweight title. My first title reign begins in Atlanta in the Omni in 1976. Wow, man, I love this one.
Deep into the match now, and Harley Race continues to try and press every advantage possible. And it's Harley Race, a beautiful vertical souffle on Dusty Rhodes. And it is Rhodes down on the canvas. And this battle has been going on for a number of minutes now, and it is Harley Race trying to get a full measure of superiority working for him. And Rhodes in dire straits here as Race goes in a lateral press. Dusty Rhodes again powers out before the count of 3. And it's Race now setting Dusty Rhodes for the pile driver. He has him up, the pile driver complete. Dusty Rhodes in a lot of trouble here as the veteran world heavyweight champion. The man who has met and defeated all comers for the past several years suddenly finds himself, and he is nonplussed himself that Dusty Rhodes could have come through that pile driver as well as he did. Race now. The hard right hand to the side of the jaw. Another one to the side of the head of Dusty Rhodes that has Rhodes staggered. Rhodes now, a short flicking left hand, another left hand, a third left hand. And Rhodes now reaching down, getting up that second burst of energy. That adrenaline beginning to flow now as Dusty Rhodes on a whole series of left hands throws a hard right that has Race, the world heavyweight champion, staggered. But it is Race. And that is why he has been able to keep that championship. He is such a totally resourceful wrestler. Managed to catch him with a headbutt, and now Race coming up on that top rope. Dusty Rhodes caught him a full body slam. Dusty Rhodes now after the world heavyweight champion. Race caught with that elbow, but he is made of tough stuff indeed. Back on his feet again, giving Dusty Rhodes everything he's got. Both men expending every bit of energy they have in their souls. A beautiful block by Rhodes. Blocks Race as Race tried to bring into a vertical souffle, and it is Rhodes reversing the situation on the world heavyweight champion Harley Race. Rhodes now down with that elbow, but Race rolls to one side. Race trying to get back to his feet. Now comes out of the ring after Rhodes, and Race is carrying the battle all the way. No one can question the tremendous drive and spirit and determination that Dusty Rhodes and Harley Race both have. Both of these men champion in their own rights, but Harley Race is wearing the $10,000 in gold. And it is Rhodes trying to pull Race back out of the ring. He wants his championship no matter where it is, but that count is on, and Dusty's going to have to get back into the ring. Dusty Rhodes coming up on that top ring rope. He must come with the full body. Watch him carefully now as he comes across. Beautiful cross body block to an outside cradle, hooking the far leg, and Dusty Rhodes has just done it. Dusty Rhodes in a count of 3. Dusty Rhodes, a wild, jubilant, excited man, as a world dream has come true to him. And the fans now jamming the ringside. The referee holding up that $10,000 gold and diamond belt as Dusty Rhodes has just become the world heavyweight wrestling champion.
Fine with everybody. All right. All right. Yeah. It's been a long time coming, but I told you it's going to happen. This is an example for every man, woman, and child. Every one of my children can look right now. Dream of a dream. Have a dream. Have a way to get it. I'm not going to stumble my words like Terry Funk did when he won the title. I'm telling you, get a dream, hold on to it, and shoot for the sky, because now excitement with my friends. Remember, I have been to the mountaintop, and it will take a hell of a man to knock me off. This is your belt.
Bill Watts was a mean son of a bitch.